What's up guys, Houndish here, and today we're jumping in to take a look at some incredible new weapons and a new perk available in Season of Plunder, which is Bungie's answer to an Incandescent style bonus for Arc 3.0. And so today initially we're going to speak about Voltshot weapons, which are super powerful, and we'll cover some ways to get the most from the new arc effect, Jolt, as well as a quick comparison with some other element focused bonuses. Some pretty cool build stuff and more in the video. As always guys, I hope you enjoy this one, and if you do, be sure to get subscribed for more Destiny content, but without further delay, let's get into it. Starting out, let's speak about the new perk, Voltshot. This can roll on a few weapons, which we'll touch on in a moment, but reloading after a kill overcharges the weapon for a short period of time, causing it to jolt on its next hit. There is also an enhanced version of this, which offers an improved short period of time. My pal Duddits has it on this scout rifle right here, so big shout out to him for grinding this out. His channel is linked below. But after you get a kill, the next shot on a target will apply Jolt, and that creates an arc explosion, which will also chain to nearby enemies on each hit. And so it will proc multiple times on a target if they have enough health, and that'll chain lightning each time, which is really good for groups of enemies, like a much better dragonfly, and each kill, including the chained Jolt kills, will allow us to proc it again by reloading the weapon. So it's a pretty strong perk, and like Incandescent or Volatile rounds, it pairs with the 3.0 subclass update. Arguably for Voltshot itself, the most jarring thing about it versus Incandescent is that you have to make a kill and reload the weapon before getting its benefits, whereas you could proc Incandescent immediately. However, the damage from Jolt is generally stronger, both because the chain effect will deal more damage on nearby targets, but also because the initial arc explosion on the target gives around a 50% damage bonus. And so it's both a damage boost and an ad control perk combined. And so easily, while it's very different to Incandescent, Voltshot is also one of the best legendary perks in the game at the moment. Another difference though is that it will only roll on 3 brand new weapons this season, and these drop from the new season activities. So initially, this is the Tarnished Metal Scout Rifle. That's the weapon we're using right here. Again, this one has enhanced Voltshot, and because we're focusing on the Voltshot bonus, with it requiring a reload after defeating a target, in the first trade slot, Rapid Hit combined with Voltshot is very good. 4th time's the charm's pretty good too. And then there's Demolitionist. That works particularly well with a build we're going to take a look at in a moment. But in terms of other weapons, there's also the Brigand's Law, a new arc sidearm. Again, you can get Voltshot on this. Then in the first trade slot, you can get good bonuses like Pugilist. But also things like Feeding Frenzy and Threat Detector, especially for the reload bonus, are going to be pretty awesome. Then there is the Sail Spy Pitch Glass, a new linear fusion rifle. This can also get Voltshot. You can get reload bonuses like Rapid Hit and Outlaw, as well as Clown Cartridge, and so some of these weapons are pretty interesting. You can see right here, once again, we're getting Voltshot to proc by reloading after a kill, and especially if you can focus on a kind of tankier target in the midst of a group of enemies, it allows us to distribute that arc lightning pretty easily. And of course, there are ways to set up your arc subclass to take advantage of Jolt in general, both from the weapon and from other Jolt sources in the subclass. So here on the Titan, we've got the Touch of Thunder aspect, and we're rocking pulse grenades, and these create ionic traces periodically as they damage targets. Plus, the damage of pulse grenades will increase over time. Now for Titan specifically here, we've got this Spark of Ions fragment, and defeating a jolted target also creates an ionic trace. And that pairs with Voltshot weapons. Each time that perk is procced, the defeated target will also produce an ionic trace which travels along the ground to the creator and grants ability energy when picked up. And so we're just being fed grenade, melee, and super energy pretty consistently here because we also have Spark of Shock, where arc grenades will jolt targets. And so between grenades and the Voltshot kills, we've got Jolt readily available a lot of the time. And we also have Spark of Magnitude here as well, where lingering arc grenades have an extended duration. And that simply means more damage for longer, and since they jolt targets, once again, we'll get even more ionic traces. At this point, the traces are returning a lot of ability energy, and again, we can use a mix of grenades and proccing Voltshot to do that. But if we lean into having grenades readily available, simple stuff like Armamentarium for Titans means that we can get grenades available nearly all of the time if used properly, not to mention getting that super energy back at a rapid pace as well from the traces. Obviously, if you were using similar mods on other classes, the exotics and specific fragments might change a little bit, but you can do very similar things on any class with Arc 3.0, and we're absolutely electrocuting everything right now. But with this particular build, we've leaned even more into grenades. So on the chest piece, we have elemental armaments, and that spawns a matching elemental well on grenade kills. Obviously, we're doing that all the time. And if you also throw on Seeking Wells, on the helmet right here, those elemental wells spawned with grenades will move towards nearby players in a similar way to ionic traces. And that allows us to take advantage of stuff like Font of Might, where picking up a matching elemental well will grant a temporary boost to weapon damage of the same element. and that'll pair with the Voltshot Scout here as well, and boost that Jolt chaining damage. Then it's worth thinking about mods like Lightning Strikes Twice from the artifact, which will give us increased grenade recharge for a short duration, with Arc Final Blows extending the benefit. Obviously, kind of sounds like a lot on paper when we go over it like that, but the result is simply lots of lightning, lots of grenade and ability energy, with relatively minimal setting up. And in the case of Voltshot on the weapons, it just requires getting that kill and reloading to proc the perk. But with a build like this, you could almost not run Voltshot at times. However, I'd say the good thing about Voltshot is that it allows us to take that Jolt capability pretty much anywhere, so we could be rocking a Solar or Void subclass, and it might just be the case that you opt to dramatically improve your arc output, even if you're running a Solar subclass at the time. So there are quite a few things that can be done with it. I'd imagine in the future Bungie are going to roll out more weapons with Voltshot available as well, as that is another big contrast between Voltshot and Incandescent. I believe we can get something like 15 different weapons with Incandescent between craftable weapons and normal drops. Yet, as we mentioned, Voltshot only rolls on 3 specific weapons from the season, and I'd imagine a big reason that Bungie went ahead and did this is to try and encourage more folks to pick up the new seasonal weapons, right? Although at the same time, in a way, it kind of makes them easier to target and go after. I'd say Voltshot right now seems better on the energy weapons, the Scout and the Sidearm, and then of course there is the Linear Fusion Rifle as well. I feel like Voltshot is probably going to generally be more appealing on the other slot weapons as opposed to the heavies. But if you have used the Linear Fusion Rifle with Voltshot, let us know your thoughts on the damage bonus and things like that down below. And so I wanted to take a look at that new perk, talk a little bit about how Jolt works in general. Kind of like the other bonuses we've seen in this style, it's tied very much to the Arc subclass rework, but it contributes to making some absolutely monstrous builds. So I'd be curious to hear from you guys any builds that you've been rocking with this kind of setup, and any good rolls that you have on Voltshot weapons. Once again, big shout out to my pal Duddits. He does a lot of builds on his channel, so be sure to check him out, linked in the description down below. If you guys have enjoyed the video today, a rating really does help us out on the channel. Plus get subscribed and I'll keep you posted with more content. And as a final mention, if you guys fancy checking out Gamer Supps, who have a ton of awesome drinks to help improve focus and performance while gaming, then you can go ahead and get 10% off any order in the store by using code Houndish at checkout. And so if you're into that sort of thing, definitely follow the link down in the description box below. But otherwise, thanks as always for tuning in, and I hope you guys have an awesome day.